Wall Street Memes Casino,
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.
This is Colin McGuigan for IFLTV. Delighted to be joined with Frank Smith. The bling is out, so I know you want to talk about this. So Frank Smith, show the camera what it is, where you got it, and tell us a little bit about it.
I want to talk about it,
I can tell, it's out.
mate. It was out. It was under a minute ago, and I was like, "Where's the chain?" And I was like, "Here's the chain." Thank you very much. Chain and drip. This is drip. This is drip, and this is
That is drip.
it's a double drip.
He's double drip.
Drippity drip.
Frank, so
And
what?
people say I don't have a sense of humour as well. I think it's out of order.
It's a bit of a dad joke, but we'll take it. Talk to me a little bit about the chain.
Oh, the drip.
Well, first of all, the double drip. Talk to me about the drip.
Right. This one is sparkling drip. It's lovely. This one, sparkly drip. And this is sparkly and sparkling drip. Very good, actually. We're a good little double team. The chain is from Anthony Joshua. He got Eddie one, but Eddie's 49 years old or something like that. So, you know,
Does it have your initials on it?
it does. It has FS, has 258, because they work 25 hours a day, 8 days a week, which is actually impossible. Tried, didn't work. It's got a map of the UK, and it's got a panther on there as well, because it represents my pace. It's like one of those FIFA cards.
I can already see the comments that Frank Smith is now unbearable.
Yeah, I know. I am. I've actually been unbearable my whole life, but I've just never really shown it, and now I'm showing it.
Frank, first of all, we're here for a big fight week in Phoenix, Arizona. What is it about Phoenix, Arizona that you continuously get these big gates here?
Look, it's they really support boxing. You know, time and time again, we've brought many big nights of boxing to Phoenix now, and they really get behind it. And that's why we wanted to come here with this fight. You know, you're going to see close to 10,000 people in there tomorrow night. The atmosphere is going to be unreal. You know, when do you see weigh-ins like that, especially in the US? When you see a weigh-in with a turnout like that, with an atmosphere like that, it's because they love the sport of boxing. You know, they got behind everyone as well. All of the fighters they got behind. So, you know, we're going to bring many more shows here down the line. And yeah, it's just a great place for boxing.
Let me get your thoughts on the ticket pricing of AJ Dubois. It's been discussed online today. You've yourself, Eddie, the kind of whole production has taken a bit of criticism from, you know, fans that it's overpriced. What's your response to someone that maybe is frustrated at the pricing structure?
Yeah, look, pricing's obviously led by demand as well at the same time. And when you look at the ticket sales and what's been sold already, it shows the demand is there for people to buy those tickets at that price. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. Just like anything in the world. You know, everything has a value that is put on it. Boxing's an expensive sport. It has to make sense as well. You know, for the fighters, for everyone involved, the production of it. It's not a cheap sport. It's not a cheap business to be involved in. So it has to make sense and it has to stack up. You know, so the pricing is priced that way because A, people will buy, and they do, and B, it needs to be as well.
How many tickets has this event sold so far?
A lot.
Give us a number.
A lot. No, because I'm not getting in trouble for saying.
Eddie, give us a number.
Eddie did he? What did he say?
I
80,000?
70.
He said 70. He'd probably say 120,000. Doesn't even hold it. It's done a lot of tickets. Great numbers though.
Do you believe it'll hit the 100,000 mark that Turkey Al Sheikh wants it to hit?
I think so. Yeah, I believe it will. You know, look, we haven't had a big night, a UK stadium night in a while, and yeah, I think it's a massive fight, massive undercard, massive moment for the sport. You know, take away just the fights as well, though. The production levels of this is going to be insane. You got Liam Gallagher as well. I nearly said no, but it's Liam. Got Liam Gallagher performing a few songs as well. So it's going to be a special night in there and something we've not seen in the UK. You only have to look at the shows that have been put together in Saudi to understand the production levels of these events, and this is going to be special.
Frank, I want to get your thoughts on Carl Froch and AJ's beef. What did you make of that?
Look, I'm Team AJ all day. Like I love Anthony Joshua. No, honestly, like not just because he got me a chain.
Because he got you the sparkly drip.
No, but like when you've been with someone, you work with someone for coming up to 12 years now. The relationship we've got. I love Anthony Joshua, and I think Carl Froch is jealous of Anthony Joshua. Quite honestly. You know, look, Carl did amazing things for the sport of boxing as well, but there's always going to be someone in any walk of life that does better than you. That's the reality of life. But yeah, look, I'm 100% behind Anthony Joshua. Always will be. You know, he's been there, been working together, but more like a friend now over the years. I don't really have that with Carl Froch. You know.
Do you believe that it's uncalled for Carl Froch to come out like this and publicly, you know, show messages with Anthony Joshua?
Yeah. Yeah, but that's what Carl does, doesn't he? He wants attention. Hence why he's got a podcast or whatever it is.
In terms of yourself, Frank, I asked Eddie this question. The way Turkey Al Sheikh sat in the middle of Frank and Eddie, for example, do you think it would be wise to kind of squash this beef before it does maybe get a little bit too serious, and Eddie maybe to sit down, because he is the mutual amongst the two of them?
They're grown-ups. You know, like they're grown, but this is actually two people who know each other. When you talk about Eddie and Frank, didn't know each other, never met each other. You got to remember Anthony Joshua was around the GB setup for years while Carl Froch was there with Rob McCracken. You know, so these are two people who know each other. You know, and like it's a very different situation, I'd say. You know, they're grown-ups. You know, Anthony Joshua has his mindset on Carl Froch. Carl Froch has his mindset, you know, on their opinions, and their informed opinions. Do you get what I'm saying? Because they know they're not just people who have never met before. These are people who have spent years around each other. And yeah, look, I think again, I don't know, but I think it's a bit of jealousy, in all honesty, from Carl. But people say I'm wrong, but that's my opinion.
Frank, I want to get your thoughts on another thing. You know, Boxer and Ben Shalom have kind of came on the scene with the Saudis now, which is great for British boxing fans and maybe all boxing fans that everyone's working together. But for you, you're in a bit of an uncomfortable position maybe, because you and Ben have had a bit of back and forth. You've stated publicly you don't like him, which is quite a strong comment about someone. Does it make things awkward for you now that they are involved? Or
How long have you known me?
about 3 or 4 years?
Have I ever got awkward before?
Have you got awkward?
Am I awkward? Am I an awkward person?
I'll say no, but I will give you an example. I think if Carl Froch watched your interview and possibly was here, I think you would maybe feel awkward, no?
No. I'm not. It's not my personality. I'm quite open and transparent and straight up. I said it about Ben before, you know, when he was coming to the show. What frustrates me is people who paint this picture and create this perception and narrative of I'm such a good person, I'm such a good human. But normally when you do that, it doesn't really tally up. Like, you know, like means there's a reason you're doing it. I have my opinion on Ben Shalom, like, but again, I've said it a dozen times. Just because I have an opinion on him, and I've been open about it, and I'm not trying. I don't stand in his face and go, "I love you, mate," just for a laugh, innit? Like, I'm gonna keep the same energy throughout. That's never gonna change unless you show me difference or say, "Do you know what? You're right about this. I was wrong about it." Like, I have my opinion. It doesn't mean I'm right. Like, that's for me to decide. You can prove it different to 800 other people. You saw other people's comments about it. You saw what Liam Smith said the other day. You know, like, I'm not the only person. But it doesn't stop me. It's like, I might not like you, right? I do like you. But I might not like you. But I'd still do... There's people like you who do your job that I don't like. I'll still do an interview with them, for example. It doesn't change my... It's business at the end of the day. And we have to do what we have to do. I think anything that's good for the sport of boxing, you know, benefits us all. You know, if that means great fights happening, if that involves boxer fighters, great, happy days. You know, but like, I know he's under a lot of pressure. Like, he must be under a lot of pressure. Like, we were talking in the car about their social media following. Like, they're buying followers. They went up 200,000 followers in a couple of days. Like, there's a lot of pressure. They got to create this hype and narrative because it's a tough business to be in, and they want to create this perception that they're huge and growing. You know, I can't imagine it's easy. So, but look, if there's business to be done, then great. But I'm not going to change. I'm not a liar. Again, you may think I'd be awkward, but I've said things about people before, and you know, not fronted up. I'm not a tough guy, but I'm just honest. And I think actually most people in life aren't that way. Do you know? Most people would say something behind their back and then come on the camera and say something completely different. I'm never going to do that. You know, maybe I would have done it years ago, but now I'm not going to do that.
Frank, one last one from me. In terms of Matchroom and the growth, do you believe that this, we talked last year about PBC's strong end of the year. How do you rate Matchroom's year right now? We're in, basically July. Is there more to come? Is there going to be a really strong end of the year from Matchroom?
Yeah, look, I think, when you look at what we're doing on a global scale, like this weekend, for example, we're going to have 10,000 people here for a massive, massive fight. We've got Boots in a couple of weekends' time. We're going to have 14, 15,000 people there for his homecoming. Boots, many people believe the biggest star, or potential star in world boxing as well in the long run. We're in Japan. We've got 6,000, 7,000 people at the Copper Box next week. We're coming off the back of Puerto Rico with Subriel Matias against Liam Parra. Liam Parra is going to fight in Australia in a huge show. It's week after week. August 3rd, massive night in LA, obviously, with the Riyadh season show. August 24th, Jack Catterall headlining at the Co-op Live. I think we're in a great place. I think we've delivered amazing shows this year, and I think a lot of promoters have delivered amazing shows. But I think really we're unrivaled on a global scale of what we do week in, week out. And I think it's going to continue to be that way. Now, we're always pushing ourselves. At the end of the day, especially Eddie. Eddie's a huge boxing fan. He wants the shows, like the fights, to be the best fights out there. I love putting on events. I love putting on a show. So we don't get complacent. We don't really settle and go, look at what we've done over the last 10 years. We're going to continue to do that. I think the sport of boxing is in a great place and will continue to be in a great place. And, we're going to keep going from strength to strength. There's a lot more to come this year. And I'm excited about what the next few years hold as well.
Well, Frank Smith, always a pleasure, and I look forward to speaking to you tomorrow on Fight Night, and appreciate your time as always, mate.
Thank you, mate. Good to see you.
Wall Street Memes Casino
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.